Hi everyone, it's Ekene here from iconicwomanhood.com. And if you and I are just meeting for the first time, hello. I hope you're having an amazing day. I am a feminine leadership coach and I help high achieving women like yourself create soulful success through elevating into your highest call of leadership without losing your femininity or your womanhood. In fact, we do it through celebrating and reclaiming it. So I wanted to answer a few questions that I got on social media. And today, the question that I got was talking about, yes, this is a good one. It's really simple. It says, should I shoot my shot? Now, I'm going to take this question assuming shooting my shot means approaching a potential masculine interest, right? Approaching a man and letting him know you're interested and you want to go out with him or something like that, right? So shooting your shot. That's not a phrase that we used in my day. And it's not a phrase I would use today even. But let's talk about it. Should you approach a man and let him know that you are interested? Should you do that? So I think there are layers to this, and I want to answer the question in those layers. First, may I say, I think that so many of us, whether you are a woman in your 20s or your 30s or your 40s or your 50s or your 60s, whatever age you are, I think so many of us, when we start the experience of dating, whether we are single or suddenly single, maybe you're widowed or you're divorced or you're back in the market, too many of us are results oriented. And so you get into this experience thinking, okay, I want to date a man and settle down. That's the man. Like, I want to find the love. And it's very results oriented. And if you've ever gone into an experience just focused on finding something, you miss the whole journey and you miss the deliciousness that is experiencing human beings. Because to me, that's one of the things that is being lost in this season. Now, I know that there are wonderful people doing wonderful kind of programs and coaching to help you secure a man and whatnot. That's awesome if that's where you really want to be. But I just want to kind of remind you that even in that, in your program and whatnot, not to lose the deliciousness of the experience, because not every man that you are attracted to is the right fit for you, right? And just because he's not the right fit for you doesn't mean that he doesn't have a place in your life. Doesn't mean that that moment that you might be out together can't be amazing. Because for me, I think dating and flirting, right? Because I said there are layers. I'm going to talk about the layers. We have to have a baseline, which is I'm interested in you as a human being, and I'm going to enjoy the experience of getting to know you as a person, period. That's it. You as a person. I just want to enjoy you. And then the next layer is I want to enjoy you as a masculine being. I want to enjoy some of your, your energy. I want to enjoy your perspective, the way you talk, the way you show up. For me, I am a woman who enjoys men, and I enjoy just even the juxtaposition of the traditional softness. I am a bit of a soft body. I'm not a hard body. Bit of a soft body, and I enjoy the juxtaposition of a woman's curves and softness against the, most men have a physically harder body, right? So just even the juxtaposition. I enjoy the juxtaposition. I enjoy juxtaposition in general. I actually think it's the most interesting thing. And so in conversation, the ways we see things and the ways we connect when you're dealing with a healthy masculine. I'm not talking about toxic masculinity here that tries to shut down women and subjugate women and is deeply actually either misogynistic or deeply afraid of feminine energy. No, I'm talking about a healthy masculine man, very delicious, very enjoyable. It's like a very, when you have that dance with a man who can lead in a dance, and you're turning in your salsing or your kizomba or any of those moves, you can see the value of the hard and the soft, the masculine and the feminine, the connection. And I want to remind you that there is so much deliciousness there, even if this isn't going to be your one. But if you go into every encounter thinking, I want to find the one, then you're missing the experience. And actually, you're in a very masculine mode. Even that statement of, I want to shoot my shot. Just think about the language. The language is very masculine. And a lot of women want men who lead with their masculine, but then you're approaching it with a masculine, masculine energy. Masculine and masculine repel, or masculine and masculine, like two dogs, have you ever seen two sort of alpha dogs? They posture against each other and one tries to dominate. And so when you approach it with shooting your shot, I actually think you're shooting yourself in the foot. If you're a woman who leads with her feminine, who wants to be in her feminine and wants a man who leads with his masculine. Now, if you lead with your masculine and you want to maintain that dynamic and you want a man who is more in the receiver role, then yes, shooting your shot would make sense, because a man who is wanting to be in the receiver role, and I want to take away this idea that one is better than the other. You have to know who you are. We are all created differently for a purpose. And so this notion, and you hear the terms alpha male, alpha woman, beta woman, this notion that one is superior, like an alpha male is superior, is flawed. Because the idea behind that, the insinuation is that God makes mistakes. No. He knows exactly why each of us is on this earth, and he has created us perfectly to do what we are here to do and live the lives we're here to live. And I personally have been around some wonderful, healthy alpha males. I've been around some very unhealthy alpha male types. Often, if you identify yourself as I'm an alpha male, I'm actually kind of going to pull back, because that tends to sometimes it means that you're just in this state of masculinity that can be very aggressive and dominating and make a woman like myself feel a bit unsafe. So I'm not into that. But at the same time, I'm attracted to many alpha male qualities. But then I've been around some really wonderful, quote unquote, beta males. And I guess the distinction is alpha males, quote unquote, lead with their masculine, and beta males, quote unquote, lead with their feminine. Let me explain what that means. It does not mean they're effeminate. An effeminate man is a man who has feminine affectations. That is not what it means to lead with feminine energy. Leading with feminine energy could be a creative man, a nurturing man, a man, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Some of you guys are drowning under men who are so afraid of their feminine side. So they have no nurturing, no creativity, no intuition, no spirituality. They're just, it is exhausting. But men who lead with their feminine, or men who may be more in that space, may be more receptive, right? And a woman who leads with her masculine, again, it doesn't mean that she is manly and masculine in her behavior, or what's the term? Or butch. And please forgive me if that's a negative term or a disrespectful term. Again, error of the mind and not of the heart. But it doesn't mean that, because you can be a woman who has very feminine affectations, but you lead with masculine energy. And again, there is no wrong way to be a woman. If that's the way God has created you, who are we created to say the creator is wrong? No. Let's embrace who we are. And so embracing who you are actually helps you know what's best for you. So if you lead with your masculine, shooting your shot might be exactly what you need. If you lead with your feminine and desire that dynamic, shooting your shot may shoot you in the foot. But remember, both parties, don't forget the deliciousness of just being connected to other human beings and appreciating other human beings. And I talked about, I shared this before, that when you lead with your feminine, the best thing you can do is to have your light on, to be open, to be receptive. And part of that, now here's how you can, quote unquote, sort of enter into that space. Because so many of us have been programmed, I was like this for so long, to have our light off. We're programmed, you walk into a room, head down, you don't meet his eye, you show no interest whatsoever. He has to pursue you. He has to chase you down. I don't think that that's necessarily that's not showing interest, genuine interest in another human being. Showing interest in another human being in a feminine way, right, could be complimenting him just as a human being. Again, not I'm complimenting him with the hopes that it's going to turn him on and make him focus on me and yada, yada, yada. No. You were just really honestly like, oh, you look good today. Well, don't you look GQ? Oh, I like that. Just the same way you might compliment a woman, you compliment a man. You might compliment the way he looks. You might compliment what he says. I love your perspective. That's such an interesting perspective. You can do that even in like the digital world. Imagine you're in a conference and someone says something great in the chat room, right? And then you can send a private message saying, that insight, that was so insightful. I so appreciated that. And that's it. Now, if he's a man who leads with his masculine, you've made him curious, right? And especially you just, and you move back, right? And not from a game playing type of thing. I really don't believe in playing games. I believe in being authentically interested in yourself, interested in yourself, and interested in other people, and authentically compassionate, caring. You see them. Every human being wants to be seen, heard, and valued. And so when you look at a man and you kind of are quickly rating him, just think about how you feel when you are rated by a man as far as, okay, is she desirable or not? And if she's not, throw her away, right? You know how you feel when that happens. So you don't want to make anyone else feel that way. You want everyone else to have a wonderful experience of you. And so when you are saying to that person, you're complimenting them, or you're showing interest, or you're leaning in. Oh, that is so interesting. You're looking them in the eye. When you walk into a room, you don't have your head down. I did this for years when I was very young, right? And I say very young as in college and after college, because that my programming and where I felt about myself. But as a woman, you walk in, and there's a difference between walking in and posturing and who's seeing me and all of that. Again, masculine energy. But feminine energy is you're walking in and you have your smile and you're actually looking around and you're meeting people's eyes that meet yours. And, you're smiling, you're holding the gaze, not staring them down, not, oh, yes, oh, wow. That can be a little masculine and a little overwhelming for some men. So you're just appreciating people. A good exercise could be training yourself to just go out into the world and noticing other people, paying attention to them, giving them good energy, giving them compliments without wanting anything from them, just exploring that. So should you shoot your shot? Depends. It's a masculine move. Is it a bad thing to have a masculine move? Not necessarily, but that opens the door for a particular kind of dynamic and it repels a particular kind of man. So you have to know who you are and what you want, the kind of dynamic you want. The other thing is, don't lose the magic of connection, because really dating and the opportunity when you are single is to have great connections that perhaps because you're married, you might have certain boundaries, but when you're single, you're kind of open. So don't lose the connection, be open, allow yourself to have these wonderful connections and the experience, as the French would say, the ooh la la. Don't lose the ooh la la of it all. Just walk into every room, every opportunity, every moment. Be present in the moment. And if there's something interesting or someone interesting, appreciate that thing. And if you are being appreciated, allow yourself to be appreciated. Some of us, because the person who is appreciating you may not be, quote unquote, your type, you miss what is actually happening, that a human being is appreciating you. So if he says, sister, you're looking good, or if he says, ooh, don't you look good? Thank you. And you keep it moving if you're not interested. If you are interested, thank you. And maybe you linger just a little longer, or you return and you don't look so bad yourself, or something along those lines, right? We need to kind of reclaim the art of conversation, the art of just being in the dance of relating. So relationships, before relationships comes relating. So many of us aren't even relating, right? You're just operating based on the results you want. And men too. Some men are operating based on results. Like, I just want to sleep with her. So we just do whatever we need to do to get her into bed. And you're missing, and you're not even developing yourself as well. Because with every person you talk to, every encounter you have, it enhances you. You expand. And so you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss that. So I hope that has answered your question. Should you shoot your shot? I think you should always be interested and interesting. You should always pay attention and give people a wonderful experience as much as possible. You should be present enough to notice wonderful things about people and share what you have noticed with them, complimenting them. Practice complimenting men that you are not even physically attracted to, because everyone desires it. And you know what? Everyone deserves to be seen, heard, and valued. So with that being said, again, remember, I made a little boo-boo, but that happens sometimes, right? Remember, I have a podcast if you want to hear more around these things: faith, femininity, womanhood, leadership. Sometimes I get fiery, sometimes I'm soft. Isn't that the wonderful thing about being a woman? Go check out the Iconic Womanhood with Ekene podcast. I have a YouTube channel, Iconic Womanhood. I'm here on Instagram at Iconic Womanhood _ coach. And if you really want to go deeper, and I highly recommend you do, you want to come visit me on my website, because I have courses that are available to you. And I have an incredible mastermind for women who are ready to answer the higher calling. So if you are in a place where you're wanting a relationship, wanting to kind of reclaim your womanhood, I have a course that is available for that. But then if you are a woman who, you're at a different place now in life and you want to rise from success to significance, I run something called the Iconic Woman Mastermind, and it is phenomenal. Both of them are phenomenal. The course is a DIY course on demand. You take it at your own pace, self-paced, amazing. And this is what people have told me, not just me saying it, but you should be able to know that what you put out there is good and amazing. And if it's not, don't put it out there. So you should feel confident about what you put out there. But the mastermind as well, I've gotten amazing feedback. We've worked with so many women now. At the time of this recording, at the end of this year, we would have worked with about 100 women through this mastermind in 2 years. So it's phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'm so excited to be here with you, and I'm so blessed to do this work. Let me know what you think. I want to hear your thoughts, and let's chat in the comments section. God bless. Be well.